Hey guys, Marissa at KitchenTableStamper.com. Today is video number 3 in a 3-part series introducing new shortcut card sketches. So last week we introduced shortcut card sketch 11. The week before that, shortcut card sketch number 10. And today it's shortcut card sketch number 12's turn. And this is the card that we're going to be making. All right, so let's just start really quick with some celebration news. So it is February 2nd, 2024, and we have new celebration items. We're using one of them today, so I want to point this out to you. Check out this dragonfly punch. This is a new More to Celebrate option. You can get this punch free with your qualifying order in the month of February. So check out KitchenTableStamper.com for the printable project sheet for this card, for the printable downloadable PDF version of shortcut card sketch number 12, and for the flyer with all the More to Celebrate options. Now, we're also using the Flight and Airy designer series paper, and this is another celebration item. This is one of the original ones. It's still available. I love this designer series paper. It's 6 double-sided designs, 12 pages, and it is free with a qualifying order while supplies last during the month of February 2024. And one more thing before we get started. Gian, thank you for your card and gift. Look at this adorable card I opened yesterday from Gian. This card is so beautiful and really does just highlight the gorgeous designer series paper, A sides and B sides. And then wait till you see this. Okay, I'm gonna show you this. Look at how Gian cut out the bird for the inside. Isn't it beautiful paper? All right, so right now in February, there's more to celebrate. Go and place your orders. MarisaAlvarez.StampinUp.net, $50 and $100 increments, get free gifts, and no limits. All right, so let's start with our card sketch here, and that's where we're going to begin. The card sketches have an idea, but they are not set in stone. All right, so this one looks like maybe it's designer paper or embossed. We're gonna take and step it up a bit with the Patchwork Pieces dies. All right, so this is a die set that is in the annual catalog 161592. You get 2 awesome patchwork dies in this set, and we're going to use this radiating one. So I see about me, crafty girls do what they want. So when you see these sketches, they're meant to help you in your card making. You should rotate them, mirror the design, shake up the measurements a little bit if that's what it takes. It's meant to get you stamping, to get you started, but apply your creativity. So for my shortcut card sketch number 12, we're going to start with layer A, which is the card base. My shortcut card sketches always start with 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, which is kind of a standard card base. And I've got Misty Moonlight. You could absolutely do 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5.5. That's an easy way to shake up the sketch just a little bit. Now for the B layer, you need 3 3/4 by 5. It's scaled down 1/2 an inch from each measurement of the card base, and we've got matching Misty Moonlight for that. But now I've got a piece of that Flight and Airy designer series paper that's also going to be on level B, and this one starts out as 3 3/8 by 4 7/8, which is the perfect size for die cutting with our patchwork die without much waste. The other thing I did with this piece is I went ahead and applied some adhesive sheets. Stampin' Up! Has the best adhesive sheets. I have some retired ones here that I'm just trying to use up, but you can still get Stampin' Up! Adhesive sheets, and they are going to be your best friend with this patchwork dies. So if you grab the patchwork dies, pick up a pack of the adhesive sheets also. All right, layer C is 1 by 3 inches, and I've got more of this Flight and Airy designer series paper for that layer. D is any shape of your choice, and the sentiment is going to go on this shape. So I've got basic white And this is the short and wide banner from the Stylish Shapes dies. All right, so there's our pieces. Cupcake represents any shape of your choice. We're using the Petal Park stamp set and coordinating punch for our focal image. And we're going to layer in the back a beautiful sprig that we cut using the gorgeously made dies. I love this die set. It is, you can still bundle it with the gorgeously made stamps, but don't get hung up on the bundle. The dies really do stand alone. You get a torn edge, an awesome banner here with the torn edge. It looks like maybe a piece of tape, the notebook edge, and then two awesome botanicals, and we're going to use this one today as part of our focal image. All right, let's get started. I'm going to cut this patchwork piece first, and then we'll do our stamping. So let me get my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine in here, and we'll run this one through. Okay, true confession time. I have the old Stampin' Up, the retired one of these adhesive sheets, because I always forget to use them, but they are so handy. And for this, it is going to save your sanity to put a little adhesive sheet on the back of this patchwork. The angles are kind of fun to keep track of, and you have to reassemble the pieces, which takes a little bit of time. You are going to thank yourself for using the adhesive sheet on this. The other thing you're going to thank yourself for, and just trust me, is when you pick this up off of the machine, you want to pick up the whole thing. With the adhesive sheet on there, it's not going to be too likely to fall apart, and just remove the border, but keep your pieces right with the die. Okay, so let's get the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine out of here, and I'm going to show you the fastest way to assemble this. You don't want to scramble your pieces, because the angles and the pieces, they're also similar, and you're not trying to make a puzzle for yourself, right? So what we're going to do is we're just going to lift this corner right here, and I am going to just pull out the left corner piece. When you remove this liner, all you do is flick your thumb, like the soft pad of your thumb, against the edge, and what will happen is the liner will start to roll away. Then you can just peel the liner with your fingertips. You don't need special tools. You don't need to dig at it with a take your pick tool or scratch at it with your nails. It will just roll if you just flick it with the pad of your thumb. Now you're going to place this, and this is going to be the anchor piece for all of your following pieces. And you want an equal top and left border. Okay, now I'm going to bring my sample back in here, because what you need to see is that this die, it's not to scale with a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card. The mat that we made is to scale. Remember at the beginning I said that this is scaled down 1/2 inch from the card base? Well, the width and the length of this patchwork piece is not to scale of our mat. So I've taken the next piece to the right of the corner, I've peeled that off, and what you're going to do here is you're going to give yourself a nice generous space. This is maybe, well, it's not a 1/4 inch, it's not an 1/8 inch, it's probably more like 3/16, right? Because the width of this is not to scale with the width of this. All right, so now we're going to take out the next two triangles down the left side. And you see, I'm just taking them right out from under there and then letting the die kind of fall back down. And that defines what every piece is, and I don't have to unscramble the puzzle. Now, the length of this is a little bit longer than the width when we talk about scale. So when we go down the left and the right side, we want to keep maintain the left border, but you want to have a tiny little hair of space in between each of the pieces. So you can see we've kind of got a hair of space in between the left corner and the first left side piece. Now we're going to adhere the second left side piece, maintain that left border at the same width, but just a hair of space. All right, let's go back to our right of center piece, and we're going to now for this one maintain that wider gap and the same top margin. And I'm not really burnishing anything down at this point because you might want to just shift it a little bit, and if you don't press it down and burnish, you can make small adjustments as long as you don't fully adhere and burnish down these pieces. All right, so we're going to do our last corner across the top here. And we're going to line up the corner so that we have an equal top and right margin. And then I feel like this is wider than both of these, so I'm just going to lift this guy that I didn't fully burnish down, and I'm going to slide him over just a little bit to split the excess. Now that is the first half of our patchwork. You're going to continue the same pattern around the other side. I find it easier to turn it upside down and then finish working across the top instead of trying to work across the bottom. When you've got all your pieces adhered to your patchwork, it's going to look like this. And we're going to adhere that to our card base with some dimensionals, because this is really, the whole card comes together nicely, but that's really the star of the show. So let's give that a bump. And when I do dimensionals on a big panel like this, I do plenty. I want to support all the corners. Nobody likes a saggy middle, so I'll put some extra across the middle. And don't be surprised, you can also use the leftover edges for supporting these layers, but if you're going to bump it up, might as well make sure it looks awesome, right? All right, there we go. All right, let's center this one on the card, and then we're going to get stamping. We're using that Petal Park for the flowers, and it's photopolymer, so let's grab a Stampin' Pierce mat, and we're going to do our flowers two-tone. You can see we've got blue flowers and yellow center, so I've got a scrap of Daffodil Delight and scrap of the Flight and Airy. We're using that Misty Moonlight color. Our ink pads for this project are Misty Moonlight and Daffodil Delight. We're going to stamp first Flowers and Daffodil Delight on a scrap of Daffodil Delight cardstock. You don't need to punch this one out, so don't worry too much about it. We're only interested in making sure that we got all the flower centers stamped neatly. And then we're gonna switch to Misty Moonlight. So I'm gonna swipe off my stamp. And now we're gonna punch the blue flowers. So we're gonna grab our Petal Park Builder punch, and we're going to make sure that however we stamp the flowers, it's going to be very easy to slide it into the punch and punch. I'm going to turn this way, and then what I think I'm going to do is try to fit right into this little space here. Maybe I can get another set of flowers out of this scrap if I do that. So I've auditioned my placement. We're doing Misty Moonlight ink, and let's get that guy in there. I think that's gonna work fine. Love it. Give that a second to dry before we slide the punch and smear it. We're gonna bring in our little banner, and I grabbed a sentiment from, it's an online exclusive stamp set called Timeless Charm. If you go to marisaalvarez.stampinup.net and click menu, products, online exclusives, you'll see tons of products that are not available in any Stampin' Up! Catalog or publication. So be sure to check out those online exclusives. There's lots of treasures there. And next month, Stampin' Up! Will be releasing a bunch of new products that are all amazing. All right, thanks for all you do. We're gonna get that stamped on our banner. It's close, but not too close. You should be able to stamp the banner instead of stamp and cut out. It really is a nice sentiment for that particular banner. All right, let's let that dry for a second and we'll move our ink pads out. Let's punch our flowers. This punch, with or without the stamps, makes the best little paper embellishments on cards. I love this punch. Speaking of punches and paper embellishments, since we're punching, got some dotted vellum here. This is in the annual catalog. There's 3 patterns in this pack, and it's just really fun to play with. I've got a scrap, and I'm going to make 2 little vellum dragonflies to embellish our card. You can do these from glimmer paper, from foil. They just really make amazing little embellishments that never run out. So you might have seen like the little metallic dragonflies that are part of the online exclusives. They're brushed brass. You can get this punch and some of our metallic cardstocks or glimmer cardstocks, and then you have little dragonfly embellishments that never run out, and they're adorable in vellum also. So for our flowers, we just want from Daffodil Delight the center of the flower, and so we're gonna whisk those out with our paper snips, and then we're gonna add a drop of glue in the center of the flower. Got multi-purpose liquid glue here, and my Take Your Pick tool. Let me show you a fun little trick for these tiny little bits. Really will help with the dexterity. I'm going to take the cap off the putty end. I'm going to remove the pick end, put the cap on the spatula end. Now I've got 2 tools here. I've got my putty tool and my pick tool. I'm going to pick up with the putty, hover over the flower, place, hold the flower with the pick end of the Take Your Pick tool, lift away the putty. The center of the flower is still perfectly where we wanted it, and now let that dry. After you've assembled the flowers in 3 sizes, then you're going to put the cap back on the putty end, grab your Stampin' Pierce mat, drop the flower on the mat, use the cap end of the putty side, just press on the flower center into the mat, and you see the flower cups up and makes a really cool kind of natural shape for the flower. We're going to add that to a mini glue dot, and there's our flowers all ready to use. For our dragonfly, we're going to do the same trick with the glue dots, but what we want to do is fold the glue dot in half. So using either the pick or the spatula end, it doesn't matter, of your Take Your Pick tool, you fold the glue dot in half, and then you can drop the body of the dragonfly right on the glue dot and pinch up the wings. Now you've got an adorable little vellum dragonfly. Self-adhesive. See, you're making your own embellishments. Imagine them with glitter paper or foil. So many different options here, and they add such nice texture to a card. All right, same thing with our other guy. And now we have our dragonflies and flowers all ready to pick and stick. Let's bring our card back in here and our sample. I've got this vine botanical leafy branch cut from Garden Green. I showed you that earlier, and our Designer Series paper. We're going to put the Designer Series paper in the place of C on our sketch. Well, what we're kind of doing, honestly, is we're flipping the sketch, because you'll notice that my sketch has C high of center, my card has C low of center, and that's okay. The sketch is a place for you to jump in and be inspired. So really, it's more like this is our sketch. Do you see? Just get creative with it, because for me, crafty girls do what they want. And I wanted my C layer low of center. All right, now this little guy, you can use the multi-purpose sheets, the adhesive sheets for these kind of things too. But here's the deal with that. Then you'd peel the adhesive off and every bit of it would be sticky. So it would be very flat on your project. If you hate liquid glue and you get messy and you just don't want to deal with it, make this one adhesive also. But I want the ends of my branches to just be free. So I drag the littlest bit of glue. Do you see that? No pressure on the bottle, just drag the tip of it and go out from the center, that center branch. Now we'll pop that on. And the thing about this is it's going to be pretty well adhered just as it is, but we're about to come over with dragonflies with mini glue dots, flowers with mini glue dots, the dimensionals on the banner. So that will also further secure our dainty, delicate die cut. How do you like that? That was very Stampin' Up of me. Did you hear that alliteration? Dainty, delicate die cut. All right, I'm grabbing the corner off of the ends here, and I'm going to put my banner on with dimensional, but I'm going to leave the left side with no adhesive. See, I'm just going to put my finger there and then put the adhesive all the way over here, because we're going to slide one of the flowers, tuck it, and we're going to put our beautiful twine behind that corner. So leave a little room for adding our special touches. And this one's going to go on a little higher than our C layer piece. Now we can pick and stick our flowers and our dragonflies. See, got plenty of room to tuck that under there a little bit. Isn't it just beautiful? I love this designer series paper. All right, let's get to our embellishments here. I have the iridescent foil gems. If you got our paper sampler, you got a sample of the Flight and Airy designer series paper, absolutely free. Included in your sampler was a full package of the iridescent foil gems and the Baker's Twine 3-color pack. I think you could use any one you like here, but this is part of a 3-part series, and we've used the Balmy Blue and the Lemon Lolly. So let's grab the Flirty Flamingo, and we're going to make a double bow with this. I like it because it's delicate, but it's a little bit more substantial as a double bow. So I just fold, and you need about 20 inches, give or take. I like to do it right on the spool so I don't waste as much. And we're going to loop, swoop, tuck, and pull. We've got our bow here. We're going to use a ribbon scissor and just split the loop and cut away from the spool. You'll see that's all I waste when I hold it on the spool. It does make it a little bit, you gotta be careful so you don't twist yourself all up. Double bows will always leave me ready to twist myself all up. We're going to go back to our trusty friend, the glue dots. All right, let me show you. This is how I like to do it because I have more control over the placement of my bow. I'm going to fold the glue dot, pick it up on the pick end of the Take Your Pick tool, and then I'm going to pop the knot on that glue dot. So now the bow is on the end of my Take Your Pick tool. I can lift this banner just a little bit, tuck underneath. When I've got the bow where I want it and settled, I can just hold the knot and take the Take Your Pick tool out, and our bow is secure exactly where we wanted it. Let's embellish with some of these awesome gems. Now, you got a whole pack of gems here, and you're putting them on designer series paper. So you can just do a couple if you like, maybe in the corner there. So you've got a little cluster of dragonfly and your bow and your gorgeous little embellishments. Or you can do like I did, and you can sprinkle them throughout all over so that they're like, hey, look at me. Look at us, we're here. And so I think, what do I have, 5 on here? So you do you. You've got a whole pack in your paper sampler. So I like more is more. Okay, we've got one more little dragonfly to place here. And we're gonna do like we did with the bow, where we just scoop up the blue dot on the tip of our Take Your Pick tool. And then we can place our dragonfly precisely. Just hold the center, pull out the Take Your Pick tool. There it is. Thanks for all you do, and for all who joined my spring catalog paper sampler, especially to you. Thank you for supporting the kitchen table stamper business. If you've got any questions about the project, if there's anything I can do to help you stay crafty, please email me, marisa@kitchentablestamper.com. And to shop Stampin' Up 24/7, buzz over to marisaalvarez.stampinup.net. And don't forget, there's more to celebrate through the rest of this month. Check out the new celebration selections. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.